Cold email is supposed to be polite, friendly, helpful. What I'm about to show you is none of those things. This is behavioral engineering, the kind that Chase Hughes spent 20 years in military intelligence, interrogation, influence, hypnotherapy, and persuasion. Then you combine that with Lavender's benchmark data from 231,818 cold emails. You find a loophole, not in the inbox, but in the way attention works. One sentence can slip past the mental spam filter. One unresolved thought can hijack that scan, and one cold email can make the prospect ask a question they didn't choose to ask. That is the whole game. Here's the problem. Most cold email is built upside down. It starts with the offer, the product, the outcome, the case study, the call to action. Can we book 15 minutes? Want to see how this works with a quick chat? That is dead on arrival because the prospect doesn't open your email ready to buy. They open it in deletion mode. They're scanning for one thing. Can I ignore this and move on to something that's important? And the second it feels like a pitch, poof, they're gone. Not because they hate you, although they might. Not because the offer is bad, because their brain already classified the message. Vendor, noise, delete. That happens before logic even gets involved, which means the first job of cold email is not persuasion. It is classification. You need the email to feel like it belonged, like it was meant for them, like it noticed something real, something tangible, and most importantly, like there's something personal that's unresolved inside it. Lavender's data makes this brutal. They analyzed 231,818 cold emails, and the pattern is clear. Short wins, context wins, neutral wins, but informative loses. The last one really matters because most salespeople think helpful means explaining more. It really doesn't. In cold email, explaining more actually makes it sound like marketing copy. Lavender's benchmark puts the body in the 25 to 50 word range and the 75 max. Subject line, short, usually 1 to 3 words, and 2 words is the sweet spot. Neutral, specific, boring on purpose, because the job of the email is not to educate, it is to survive the scan. That's the data side. And the data tells you what works, but it doesn't really explain why. And that's where Chase Hughes' military intelligence decision map comes in. Because most people think decisions happen in a straight line. Problem, information, logic, decision. They do not. People decide through layers. And Chase Hughes defines the decision map as identity first, then beliefs, then emotion, then tribe, and then logic. Logic is lost. And that's the part most cold email gets wrong. Because most cold email starts with logic. We reduce CAC, we improve pipeline, we save your team time, we helped another company book 40 meetings. And while all of that might be true, it's just too early to talk about those things. The reader hasn't accepted the frame yet. They haven't accepted you yet, and they haven't seen themselves in that problem. They haven't felt that tension. They haven't connected it to their world. And so the logic has nowhere to land. It's like you're free falling through space and the logic bounces. And we have to start by framing. We have to make the prospect think, this is about me. This sounds like my situation. The prospect sees the world I'm operating in. And only then does logic actually matter. Logic doesn't create the decision. It gives the decision permission. All right, so let's build one the right way. Not in theory. Let's actually go through this on screen. Let's have a look at the VP of marketing or founder, the company is smaller, B2B SaaS, running paid search, posting about demand generation. On LinkedIn, they write, it gets expensive before it gets obvious, right? Freeze that line. That is the signal, not the whole post, not the job title, just that line. Because now the email that you're going to send has a reason to exist. That's the subject line. We're not going to do quick question, delete. Not growth idea, delete that. Not more leads, definitely delete. The subject line will use something very simple, keyword gaps. And the principle is more important here than the actual subject line, the actual words we use. Because it's neutral, it's specific, it's boring on purpose. It sounds like something a teammate might send. It's internal camouflage. That's the job. Not to sell, just to survive. It's covert ops. We've now infiltrated their camp. Now for the first line. Saw your post on scaling paid search and didn't know whether to laugh or cry at expensive before it gets obvious. That's the bridge. It proves this wasn't at a sprayed list. It also does something most cold emails don't do. It feels human, a little dry, a little honest, not fake friendly, not corporate helpful. Human. Now, the frame. Teams running paid at your level usually hit a point where lead costs climb and nobody can pinpoint what changed. That line is doing three things at once. Teams running paid at your level, identity. You're not random. You are in this category. Lead costs climb. Belief. They already know this happens. Nobody can pinpoint what changed. Tension. That's the open loop. Then the CTA. Seeing that on your end. It's 5 words. No meeting ask, no Calendly, no pressure. Just a crack in the subconscious. Just a small door in their mind to walk through. So the whole email then simply becomes subject, keyword gaps. First name. Saw your post on scaling paid search and didn't know whether to laugh or cry at. Expensive before it gets obvious. Teams running paid at your level usually hit a point where lead costs climb and nobody can pinpoint what changed. Seeing that on your end? Bruce. That is the whole thing. It's 42 words. There's no pitch, no feature list, no offer, no we have, no fake value prop. Just a relevant signal, a category frame, an unresolved pattern, and one easy question. That's what makes this work. Here's the part most people miss. The email does not persuade by explaining. It persuades by leaving something unfinished, like opening up a scab or exposing the wound, or opening up your banking app and seeing money missing and then having to pretend that nothing is wrong. That's the open loop. It's not vague. It's not mysterious for the sake of being mysterious. It's unfinished, open, exposed. The reader sees lead costs climb, nobody can pinpoint what changed, and their brain starts filling in the blanks. Is that happening to us? What changed? Was it the keywords, the competitors, the budget shift? Was it the campaign structure? Those questions are not coming from the CTA. It comes from the sentence before it, identifying with a category that they've classified themselves in. That's the trick. A weak cold email asks for attention. A strong cold email creates that attention. It gives the reader a problem-shaped gap, and then it leaves the gap wide open. And the only way to close it is to reply or obsess about it. That's why our CTA is small. Seeing that on your end, want to book a call. Not, can I show you how we fix this? Not, are you free Tuesday? Those ask for commitment. What we are asking for is recognition. And recognition always comes before conversion. The prospect, your prospect, edges towards closing the loop, toward filling the void you left in their mind. And that's the point. The email is not trying to book the meeting, it's trying to earn the reply. That's the whole shift. Lavender gives us the inbox constraint, 25 to 50 words, neutral subject line, no pitch. Chase Hughes gives us the decision path, identity, belief, emotion, tribe, and then lastly, logic. And the open loop is the move that connects them. You're not explaining, you're not convincing. You're creating one unresolved question your prospect cannot easily ignore. So if you take nothing else from this video, please stop writing cold emails that explain what you do. Start writing cold emails that make the prospect recognize what's already happening. That is the lever. Next video, I'm going to show you the signal stacking system I run before these emails ever go out, because even the sharpest copy fails when it's pointed at the wrong account. I'm Bruce Martin. I build GTM systems and test them in the real world and share what actually works. I'll see you on the next one.